What's good, everybody? Welcome to Hot 97 News. This is a brand new live news show where we talk about all the biggest stories across the country. We made it to Friday. It is February 6th, and I'm your host, Lana Harris, here with Rondell with 2 N's.
What's happening?
And Million.
Hey.
It is still Black History Month.
Yeah.
Amen.
And usually we give you 1 minute of Black excellence. Yes, with Rondell with 2 N's.
You did.
But every Friday of Black History Month, we're going to hit you with a Black fact.
Hello.
Amen. Okay. So your Black fact today is there are chains at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty's feet as a symbol of abolishing slavery. So we can show you what that looks like. The broken shackle and chain sits at the statue's right foot, and then the chain disappears beneath the dress and then reappears in front of her left foot with the end link broken. And you can see that on the second picture we have there for you. And it was dedicated in 1886 as a symbol that celebrated the Union's victory in the American Civil War and the abolition of slavery. There was a man named Edouard de Laboulaye. He was a French political thinker who first proposed the idea of a great monument as a gift from France to the United States because he was a firm supporter of President Abraham Lincoln and his fight for ending slavery. But after the statue's dedication in 1886, the Black press said, wait a minute, America is still very racist. And let it be known that racism and discrimination towards African Americans did not end after the Civil War or with the dedication of the statue. It continued on for more than a century, in fact. So as a result, the statue was not a symbol of freedom and justice for all, but the bitter irony of America saying they were now a just and free society for all people, regardless of race, when it couldn't have been further from the truth for all Black people. So your real Black fact is America has been pretending to like Black people for centuries.
Oh. That Black Fact Friday. Black Fact Friday, baby.
So was the Statue of Liberty that was a Black woman then? We claiming that as a Black person?
No.
No, son. Because you see how they tried to hide the chains up under the dress or whatever? Yeah, no, that's not no Black woman, dog.
Okay.
Well, just in that, imagine you put up a statue that say, we did it.
Yeah.
We're ending slavery and it's, freedom for all. And then people are still just being treated like crap down south. Like, wait a minute, what is this?
Right.
That's why they had to hide the chains up under her. Like, they had to hide them. They ain't, they couldn't give us a full-on breaking of the chains.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. Okay, well, into the news of the day. Trump is very serious about wanting to pass the SAVE Act, and he posted this to True Social about it, and he said that Americans' elections are rigged, stolen, and a laughing stock all over the world. He said we're either going to fix them or we won't have a country any longer. So he's asking all the Republicans to fight for the Save America Act. With that, all voters would have to show voter ID. All voters would have to show proof of United States citizenship to register to vote, and there would be no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel.
No mail-in ballots? I kind of like I kind of like the mail-in ballots. Yeah. I don't think anybody should ever. I think you should always have to go in and do your votes. I don't think you should ever be able to mail in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you never know what could happen if somebody takes your mail, get lost, you know what I mean? X, Y, Z. Like, it's a bunch of things that can happen with you mailing in anything. You know what I'm saying? But you going in and actually having to physically make your vote.
Yeah.
I think I like that better.
Well, honestly, I always thought about the blue boxes, the mail drop boxes that you put the mail in. Like, whatever happens to the votes that get tarnished in any way if somebody says, oh, I'm going to dump my coffee in here, or I'm going to set it on fire, I'm going to knock it over with my car or something like that. Because it's kind of happened in the past where it's like, man, if there were a bunch of mail-in ballots in there, like, what happens?
Exactly. Especially if you knew that the people were dropping in their ballots in there. It's like, oh, my bad. Oh, I didn't know that all these mail ballots. I didn't know that.
Is this a historically blue or red city?
Yeah,
probably a lot of blue or red votes in here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. I kind of see where he's coming from though, because there's a couple of states out here that does not allow for people to have like driver's licenses when you actually do go to the voter polls. Although we're talking about registration right now, it's still like, I don't know. I just don't see the big hype, like the big hoopla of why it's so wrong to just show your birth certificate, why it's like wrong that you need to show that you're a citizen when you register. I mean, we do it in essence already. This doesn't seem that bad.
It is also about showing your ID when you get to the polls. So the people who do not support this actually kind of liken it to Jim Crow 2.0. That's specifically Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. He hates this idea. And the opponents who speak out about this often say that this kind of thing would primarily be a burden on African Americans, on Native Americans, on low-income people, elderly people, and student voters, because it's just, maybe I don't have my ID, or maybe I don't have the money to go and get the ID, or whatever the case may be. And they feel like this is just a barrier to being able to vote. Republicans say that it's ridiculous, and that requiring your ID to be able to vote would just make sure everybody is voting who needs to be voting. Everybody is truly a citizen, and it just makes the elections more secure. In fact, Trump was talking about this at the National Prayer Breakfast, and here's what he said.
Voter identification. When you go to the polls, you show yes, my name is so-and-so, and I live in the country. I'm here, I can vote. They say that's not allowed. And no, everyone's trying to figure it out. And they do something to win. You know what it is? They cheat. But let's get on to another subject. No, at that, they're the finest, probably anywhere in the world, I would say. But we're trying to pass voter ID and other things having to do with your religion. And getting the Democrats to vote is very, very tough.
What is he talking about with religion? I don't understand.
I, too, was wondering.
What does that have to do with voting?
What that meant. But he was at a National Prayer Breakfast.
Oh.
So I don't know. He kind of slipped that in there. I, too, was wondering.
Yeah.
But I was like,
religion has nothing to do with voting.
I honestly left that in the clip just so you guys knew that there's something to do with religion that's kind of being floated around here, because I didn't miss that. But the whole point was, he was saying Democrats are usually opposing the whole voter photo ID thing in a way where he feels like that's ridiculous. Mind you, only 36 states require voters to show some form of ID at the polls. So some states don't. 14 states and Washington, D.C. actually generally do not require an ID to vote.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought every state you had to show your ID.
I'm pretty sure in Georgia you do.
Yeah, you
right?
definitely. Yeah, you definitely do. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But I've showed my ID when I voted.
Right.
I mean, unless I'm just going to different voting polls that y'all are going from. I mean,
no. Actually, no. When I lived in North Carolina, I swear I didn't have to have one. But this says you do have to in North Carolina. I never voted in North Carolina, but yeah, man. I understand the people who just say, just have your ID. Because the argument, in my opinion, that the people who don't have their ID thus would be held back from this, like that whole argument, means that those people may not be keyed in enough to go get their ID so they can vote. Like, if you don't know enough about the issues, because to me, I know so much about these issues that I'm like, oh, let me go make sure I vote. I know exactly who I want to be running. I know exactly what the issues are, and I need to make my voice heard. If you're not even going to go try to go get an ID in the months, years leading up to the next election, and then you get to election day and you say, well, I don't have my ID, so they're holding me back. You didn't even try. I mean, did you try? Did you try?
Here's what I think should happen for voting, and I've put this idea out there many times. I think there needs to be a test before you go vote. I think you need to take a test before you go vote, and you need to test on the politics, and you need to listen.
Do you know your history?
What?
They used to make black people take tests to be able to vote.
Oh, I don't remember.
On Black History Month, you could say something like that.
They barred us from. That was a strategy they used to stop us from voting. Actually,
my bad, players. Okay, my bad.
I can't believe you just said that.
I'm thinking I'm coming up with something new.
We gotta take a black card away for just a couple of days.
I guarantee you, there's more black people out there that didn't know that fact. I promise you,
just
I'm not the only one.
Days, bro. I'm gonna hold it for just a couple of days.
I promise you, there's more black people that don't know that. I promise you, that's not something that everybody knows, bro.
Yeah, no, but honestly, to your point, I agree if it's for everybody.
Yeah, 100%.
At this point, we need just to make sure you actually understand the issues before you can go vote and change the rules for the people who do.
Exactly.
That's the beauty of just being a citizen, though. You don't necessarily have to know everything. I like the fact that you don't have to know in order to vote. You can still make a change even though you don't know. I love that, actually.
Yeah.
That's part of just being an American. You don't have to know everything.
Well, see, and I guess my argument to it is what just happened specifically with Trump supporters this time around, because there have been times where Democrats have voted Democrat and then been very upset with their decision. So this is not just to, pick on Trump supporters, but I've heard that more than almost any other election in my young history of learning about this stuff and knowing about this stuff and being keyed into it, that people who voted for Trump, who regret their decision, I personally feel like that is their fault for not doing the research. He went across the country and campaigned and didn't give any kind of detail on how he was going to pull some of this stuff off. So people who voted for Trump and support what Trump is doing, I feel like that's amazing for them because the system worked the way they wanted it to work. You vote for somebody, they are ushering in the way you want life to be, great. But if you vote for somebody and they're ushering in a whole different world you didn't see coming, how did you not see that coming? Why didn't you press them for information? Why wasn't that more important for you to look into before you gave him the vote that now has impacted the way all of us live? And you voted and you had no clue. So I'm kind of, with you a little bit as long as it applies to everybody.
Well, yeah, let's just take it back then. If that, you know what I'm saying? We already done it before. Let's do it again. All right, let's do it again for everybody. Yes, man. Because look, bro, to your point, you were saying that everybody can just vote. That's just American way. This, that, and the third. If you don't know about politics, you should be able to vote. I don't think that's correct because this is like. You're just voting just to vote at that point. You know what I mean? You don't even know what you're voting for.
No clue.
And here's the thing. I am a victim of that because I was not knowledgeable of politics and stuff. I guarantee this midterm, oh, brother, I'm going in there and I'm doing my due diligence.
Yeah.
Because y'all taught me a lot of things. But, in the past, I've just went there and people said, hey, you're not supposed to vote for this person. You're not supposed to vote for that person. Vote for this person. Cool.
Right.
Boom.
Right.
I didn't know who I was voting for and why I was voting for him. You know what I mean? My vote counted, but at the same point, it's like I didn't even know why I was voting for this person.
Yeah.
So it's stupid in that opinion. I should have been able to be knowledgeable about who I'm voting for. That's all I'm saying.
I get you, but again, we've seen it throughout history, and I could actually see people using loopholes around this and saying, hey, you have to get a certain percentage. You have to, in order for you to even vote, you have to get a certain percent in order to vote. And it's like, wow, so I have to read. I have to do all this other stuff.
That's normal.
Granted, but right, that's normal.
Yes.
Right, that's normal, but there's not a lot of, that's not fair to the citizens that don't choose to be educated, that don't choose to, like, if I'm a fry cook, why do I need to read? I just want to participate.
You're making a good point, actually, because if you're saying like, hey, you have to be able to read this document and I don't know how to read, maybe I don't know how to read, but I do understand the issue and I do still want to be able to vote. That's a really good point.
Because, there's a lot of people that are just down and out that just didn't grow up in the school system that we did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we start barring them out. That almost creates like a class of elitism. I could see it going completely wrong if we do
I hear you.
like that.
That's true.
I hear you.
So then I guess the question would be like, what do you do? Because it does seem like, and honestly, I don't know if you've ever gone to the polls and read some of those things, but some of them are confusing.
Very confusing.
And you're like, the language is like, wait a minute, so this means what? What am I voting on? This is like for it, right? Or does this mean that they're going to take it away if I vote yes? Or is no you don't know. And I feel like sometimes they intentionally make that confusing for like people who have been trying to pay attention. So I don't know what we do at this point.
Yeah, that is tough because even in media right now, they tell us to make headlines that a third grader could read because that's like the average amount that people in America could read at. But when you get these bills, that's like collegiate level bills that people just don't even understand. So I get it, but not everybody. That's just the way of the world right now.
Yeah. I agree with it. I guess it's a double-edged sword. So I agree with you, and also agree that people should be able to be more knowledgeable about what they're going in to vote. But I also agree that does shun out a lot of people that just want to be a part of what's going on. So I definitely agree, 100%.
Maybe it's a situation where there's a written and an oral test, and the threshold to pass is very low.
Like a 30%.
Like you gotta be like, right,
30%.
You get 20% of these, all good.
Yeah, you're good to go.
If you don't know anything about anything,
yeah.
my guy, you gotta go, dude. We'll see you next time.
Yes, I can agree to that.
I can get behind that one.
I can agree with that.
Okay, but you know what is starting today? In Florida, driver's license exams will only be offered in English. So this applies statewide. It affects all of the testing locations. It applies to all driver's license classifications, including the written exams, the road tests, the oral exams. Interpreters will no longer be allowed for any oral exams. The printed exams is going to be in English, period. All other languages are going to be removed, and they are not playing. Starts today.
That's do they know what state they got this in? This you talking about Spanish Central, like Latina Central,
Mini Cuba.
like what? Like that don't even make no sense, bruh. That makes no sense to even put it all in English. But here's the thing: there's people don't realize, just like you said, Million. A lot of people can't read or write, so English. To English people don't even make sense sometimes. So you're going to take a written or like half the people don't even know how to read or write. So it don't even matter like where you put it at. That's stupid to me. I think that's dumb.
That sounds like some real laws being broken right there.
Yeah,
like
Oh yeah.
that sounds like discrimination in a sense. Like there's no way that they're able to do that. Just make everything English. Oh, that's crazy. Because I hate when I hear those like old people that's like, oh, if you're gonna be speaking, you need to be speaking in English.
Yeah.
I hate when I hear that because it's like if they're American citizen, they can speak in whatever language they want.
Right. Ain't nobody talking to you. Why do you care what language I'm speaking? I'm not talking to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree. So there are pros and cons to this. The people who would support, well, I'll say people who don't support, obviously are saying like this kind of seems a little racist. This isolates a lot of people who may be American citizens who may not know English as much, and that's kind of not fair. The people who would support something like this would probably argue, I guess, that road signs are in English. So you do need to make sure you know English to be able to actually navigate the roadways. And if you know for sure all of the road rules back and forth, you know what I mean? Then you won't be in situations where somebody is breaking the rules and you're not sure. Did you really understand that? Not that they wouldn't be able to understand that. I'm just talking about just the pros for this that I've heard.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. And then it's like, dang, now that I'm thinking about it, you would have to make it English or like Spanish primarily because there's a lot of people that come here that don't speak those two languages in general. So they have to learn English regardless.
That and, when its sign says yield, do you know what yield means? Can you read yield? Can you read stop? Can you read right turn only? Can you read right turn only on red or no right turn on red? Like, can you read that stuff? That's where I do feel like you got a point because that would take down the possibility of getting in accidents. But, it does. It would isolate a lot of people. So, I mean, I don't know. If you're saying like the country's first language is English and our primary language is English, you would need to make sure if you want to drive around the people who live here who speak English, you know how to read the road rules. I get it.
Well,
I get it.
To that point, I think everything when it comes to driving is like universal. I don't think there's too much difference between like our driving and I've only been to Colombia, so I mean Colombia and Mexico. So I mean they all have red light, green lights, and yellow lights. Yield signs are pretty much all the same. Stop signs are pretty much all the same.
Stop isn't the same in Spanish. Or
stop signs.
Or
you know what a stop sign looks like.
You know what? I went to Mexico.
What does the stop signs look like?
I don't remember actually what the stop signs look like. In fact, I don't remember seeing stop signs. And actually, like the roads that I was in Puerto Vallarta, and when the way their roads were set up, first of all, a lot of it was cobblestone. Like they had just done work to even get a paved road in some cases. But like it did seem like, I don't know. The road was, I couldn't have driven on it. No, I would have felt like because they knew what was going on, but I did not.
100%. But to that point, it is okay. So when I went to Colombia, that is a what? Stop sign.
So you guys can't see this, but they pulled up for us what a stop sign in Mexico looks like. It does look just like an American stop sign.
Yeah, man.
It just says alto on it.
It's not too much difference between driving and either it's the other side of the road or this, but there's not too much difference between driving. Like y'all making it sound like driving is just this totally different thing in America than what it is overseas in these other countries. I don't think it's that big of a difference. Granted, I ain't never visited every overseas.
Yeah.
So,
but think about it like this: it's not just Spanish. It's other countries, other people. We got Koreans here, like miles per hour (mph). In Korean, it's sigan dang.
Please.
Sigan dang mal. So you would need to know what miles per hour is in order to tell what the miles per hour is. I'm just saying.
We have
I'm just
Koreans
saying.
that we work with who are laughing behind the scenes. It's a joke.
I'm being for real though. It's not just Spanish. It's not just French. It's universal. If you're gonna come here, you have to know the language to drive on the road.
No, for sure.
Yeah. I get it.
crazy.
Specifically for situations where it says like no right turn on red. Not that everybody always, complies by those rules, but there are some things that you would want to make sure you know how to read that you're gonna see in English out here in these streets.
Right.
But to your point, yeah, I mean it's not,
I don't think it's crazy different. You know what I mean? So
different.
that's all I'm
It
saying.
is if it's like a completely different language.
That's true.
So you have to learn it eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In bigger news that's really everywhere, we just kind of wanted to dip a toe into the news before we really got into some of the thicker stuff, because some of this stuff is kind of hard to talk about. And that includes what's happening with NBC News anchor Savannah Guthrie's mom. Nancy Guthrie's 84 years old. She was abducted from her home last weekend, and apparently there are now imposters trying to profit off of her disappearance. And the FBI is saying, actually, play around and do this if you want to. We will prosecute you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, because this is a big deal. At least one person has been arrested for making an imposter ransom demand. And it's crazy when you think about just what this family is going through. Thinking somebody might be sitting at home trying to figure out how they can make money off of that is crazy. But what happened here is at least one person has been arrested for making an imposter ransom demand. He's been identified as Derek Kayea. He's a 42-year-old man who lives in Los Angeles, and officials say that he sent fake imposter ransom texts to a couple of people in the Guthrie family demanding Bitcoin in connection with the disappearance of their mom. So specifically, it was Nancy Guthrie's daughter, Annie, and her husband, her son-in-law, Nancy's son-in-law. And an example of the message is quoted in the court docs that people have been reporting is that, and I quote, "Did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end for the transaction." And those texts were sent shortly after the family released that public video that we showed everybody yesterday. Basically saying like, hey, we just want some proof of life for our mom in this age of AI, essentially. Like, we just want to make sure it's all real and that she's safe. And so investigators say that the phone data showed that he also made a brief call to a Guthrie family member minutes after those texts. It's about 9 seconds long. But authorities ended up tracing the call back and found his email account, found where he lives. And according to the court documents, he reportedly admitted to sending those messages using a VoIP account, VoIP account, and said that he basically pulled the family's information from a cyber website just to see if they would respond after following this case on TV.
I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I knew this was going to happen. I knew that at some point, somebody was going to try to profit off this. Y'all are sick, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all have too much time on your hands. Y'all are sick. I knew this was going to happen. They were going to figure out a way to say, oh, okay, bet. Let's go in there and let's do our own little ransom.
Yep.
I knew either that or a GoFundMe or something was going to happen to where they were going to try to profit off this lady. And that's messed up. Y'all are sick, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all are sick.
Now, the reward has been raised to $50,000. So yesterday we were talking about how the reward was $2,500. The FBI's raised that award to $50,000. And Savannah Guthrie's brother just dropped a different video, and we'll let you hear a piece of that.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
So he still kind of appears to be reading something, still very strong in how he's coming off, and because a lot of people, again, would be just besides themselves with grief. And, so he apparently dropped that after they missed the deadline. According to the FBI, there were two deadlines that the ransom letter had. The official ransom letter that the FBI seems to be taking seriously had in it. The first one was 5 p.m. on Thursday, and the next deadline is set for Monday, this upcoming Monday.
So they ain't paid yet?
They haven't paid. They haven't been contacted again by the people who sent the letter they are taking seriously, because apparently there have been multiple ransom letters actually sent to news outlets similarly, and the FBI is kind of seemed to be at least taking this one seriously.
Yeah, they better stop playing with these folks. Like, They better stop playing with these folks, man. Like, I wouldn't take, if it was my mom, I wouldn't take none of this lightly when it comes to like ransoms, and I'm trying to send you the money immediately. However I can. Quick, fast, hurry, get it over.
to their point though, with things like AI, you never know if it's real or if it's fake. And imagine if another ransom note came out and you gave it to the wrong person.
Yes.
For sure.
Now
Yes.
you just out even more
Yep.
money.
No,
I understand
100%.
you want to give everything out, but you got to still be strategic, think smartly about it.
Yeah. So the FBI says that they are trying to take everything they get in seriously, every lead, every tip, but they do have to walk that line because to your point, yeah, we can't just be giving money out and be like, oops, I didn't actually have the mom. You know what I mean? So, it's a very, very sad situation. And, we're going to keep an eye on it for any updates on that. In the meantime, there is officially now a Trump RX. It has been unveiled and is a website designed to save the people money on prescription medications. So we can show you what this website actually looks like because I just went on to trumprx.com, I think it's called, and you can type in what you're looking for, and apparently it'll just kind of pop up and show you what they have available there. No, there's not like that many drugs on there right now, but I mean, it does significantly take the price down because the U.S., we were paying way more than other developed countries for a lot of these prescription drugs. So they kind of give you some before and afters and some comparisons of what other countries are spending on the exact same drug.
We got to give DT some credit on this.
Now that I will.
We got to give him some credit on this.
Yeah.
Wait, what's
Well,
the
okay.
caveat? What's
The only caveat is there are technically coupons that you can get from this website, and they don't actually work everywhere.
Yeah, it works at specific pharmaceutical companies and pharmaceuticals pharmacies that actually agreed to sign up with DT on this. Yeah.
We have to go to a quick break, but we're going to pick this up
All
on
right,
the other
for sure.
side. We'll
For
see.
sure,
Okay,
for
okay,
sure.
okay. Welcome back to Hot 97 News. When we left you guys, we were talking about Trump RX. So we can pull that website back up, and we're going to go to the middle/end of the video to really show you what this website is looking like. So again, I don't want to take anything away from Trump on this because I just don't even understand how he pulled this off. Actually, technically I do. He made some agreements with some of these manufacturers about basically saying like, we'll kind of give you some help on tariffs. Maybe we don't charge you for the tariffs, or we give you an exemption from the tariffs, I should say, and just other things that they've worked out to make this thing possible. So here's what I did. I went through and I actually clicked on some of these medications so you could see what it literally looks like when you go. You see that coupon? Okay, so technically if there were different levels to the medicine, I don't know like how to say that because I'm not a doctor. If there were different degree, like maybe it's 25 milligrams or 50 milligrams, you would print out the coupon and then you would take that to the pharmacy. But like I was saying, not all pharmacies take it. So while this is amazing for the places where this works, what if you did show up with a coupon and they're like, what is this? That'd be so embarrassing.
If you show up with a coupon, and they decline you, just take it to a pharmacy where they do offer it. This is agreeing. Like, this is all good in my book with Donald Trump. He really lowered a lot of these prices. I'm looking at it right now. It says he lowered the prices of insulin on his website from $200 to $25. Like, that is crazy with just one coupon. He's a businessman and he's showing that he knows how to make them deals.
I would consider this a huge win for Trump. The fact that the companies agreed to this, I don't know what they did, again, like in the minutia of the details, because I'm like, who's funding this? How is this possible? They can just slash their profits and everybody's cool with it. But whatever they did to work this out would make things cheaper.
If it actually works. If it actually works.
If it actually works. Because there are some that you'll look down and you'll see that maybe there's one address in Atlanta, one pharmacy in Atlanta, one pharmacy in Indiana, one pharmacy in, that it applies to. So you would have to check that first. And in some cases, it's not go to a pharmacy, it's go to the website. So they're really connecting you with these lower prices, not that they're giving you like a discount, but it's just, I mean, no complaints if you...
Right, that's what I'm saying. If I needed these drugs, you know what I'm saying? He lowered it for us, and I got to give him some kudos for that. Give him some kudos for that.
Okay, so we'll have our eye on that. We also have our eye on the Olympics.
Yes.
Man.
I'm excited.
Here we are. I'm pretty sure, like, today, isn't today, like, the first day opening ceremony?
They played
technically it was
yesterday. They played yesterday.
Yeah. It was
Some games are going on yesterday.
couple events on the 4th. So that was a couple days ago. But yes, opening ceremony was always supposed to be today. It is in Italy this time around. There are 116 gold medals that'll be contested across 16 sports, including new events like ski mountaineering, women's luge doubles, and mixed team skeleton.
Yeah, y'all know this ain't our Olympics. Y'all do know y'all know this is not what we strive at. But I did want to highlight that there are a few black people at the Olympics this year. So there's a black speed skater. Her name is Erin Jackson. There's also black bobsledders, Elena Myers Taylor and Kasha Love. And there also is a black hockey player, Layla Edwards. So yeah, there's a few black, and it's crazy as I saw Layla. They did an interview with her yesterday. I watched her interview. So we are out there, not a lot, but we are. We don't like the cold, but we're definitely at the Winter Olympics this year a little bit. So yeah.
That's fire.
That's what I
rock
said.
with that. I like that you did that research too. I didn't. Layla, a hockey player.
Layla Edwards.
That is crazy, bro. Shout out to Layla, bro.
Layla Edwards, man.
You got to talk about on Black History Month. You know what I mean? You got to look for it on Black History Month. But I will say, so obviously you watch this on NBC. They have all the rights to this. But two of the most decorated alpine skiers in history are apparently the athletes to watch. Like what everybody's talking about. You know, those clips you see online where you're like, man, why does everybody know about this sport? So this is what the people are going to be watching for, because this is what everybody's most interested in. 41-year-old Lindsey Vonn and Michaela Schifrin. They opened the World Cup season in peak form, except for one of them, Vonn. She actually just ruptured her ACL last week and still has to compete, and she still plans to compete. So that's why everybody's going to see, man, like, how's she going to do? Wow. She's still been trying to get back into it. You got Eileen Gu, who is back in freestyle skiing. Chloe Kim is in snowboarding. You got NHL players back on Olympic ice for the first time since 2014. So a lot of people are specifically looking out for how they do in the Olympics. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Shout out to them, man. Shout out to them.
Do y'all watch the Winter Olympics? Be real.
I'm more of a Summer Olympics kind of guy myself.
Let's be honest. Don't be getting up here lying. Like we don't watch it.
Even as I was saying some of those sports, I'm like, man, I never heard of these words before.
Yeah, exactly. We stopped watching the Winter Olympics when Shaun White retired. Okay, once Shaun White retired, we didn't care about the Winter Olympics anymore. That's like, that
you
was
know
like
who Shaun White is?
No.
Exactly.
What?
That's when people stop watching.
That's crazy. Shaun White is like that guy.
That guy.
Redhead dude, bro. He's that guy. He was a skateboarder and snowboarder, but he was like black people's like Tony Hawk. Like he was like black people's Tony Hawk for snowboarding.
Right.
Got you,
that was black people's Tony Hawk. Because black people only know one skateboarder.
And it's Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk. One snowboarder, Shaun White. One BMX rider, that's Dave Mirror.
Right, you
lost
going
me.
too far.
Oh,
Yeah,
lost
you going too far. Going a little too far. Whoa. Slow down now.
But what I think is actually interesting is the Russian athletes, because, we're technically still trying to help them bring down their war with Ukraine. And I always wonder, like, how can our countries be at war, but then you'll show up in the middle of these games like, what are you doing here? Don't we hate you? But apparently a handful of Russians are competing as neutral athletes, and they had to be cleared by an independent review board to ensure they have not publicly supported the war in Ukraine and are not affiliated with Russia's military or other forces.
Wow, that's
just be able to compete.
crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. I don't like how the Olympics is kind of getting involved in the politics. Like, you could play and kind of separate your politics from playing.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, because they didn't make that decision.
Right.
Like, I didn't tell Putin to go to war.
Right. It's not me calling the shots. What's going on here?
I actually like it. I think America should do that with our athletes and like do a research and figure out which ones are racist. You know what I mean? If they do a deep dive in their Twitter and all that and figure out, oh, okay, they actually made a few racist remarks.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be serving. You shouldn't be going and playing for our country. Like, no.
But you know what's interesting? Like, now that I think about it, there is a narrative in certain parts of the world where Russia is the good guy to them.
Oh, yeah.
So in that line of thinking, what's it called? America would be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things America has done recently that has Europe up in a tizzy. And so I wonder, what if a bunch of countries got together and started doing that to the American athletes based on the decisions of their government? Then the American athletes would be like, we literally weren't asked about any of this. So, but it is interesting how politics plays a role in that,
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, Lindsey Vonn, I just got a message. Lindsey Vonn apparently is the ex-girlfriend of Tiger Woods.
That's wild.
I guess that's why they're watching it. Lindsey Vonn was the one who we were watching for, what was that event? That was alpine skiers.
Oh, she's okay.
An alpine skier. Yes, 41-year-old Lindsey Vonn.
Was this in
Tiger Woods' ex.
was this in his heyday? Was this during his heyday?
Let me see.
I wonder if it was
know.
it wasn't Will. It was after his heyday. Okay, gotcha.
So she was with him after the heyday.
after
you know,
and we all know what the heyday is. Yeah, we all
of
know.
Tiger Woods. Yeah. You know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can't tell you what he just said. But anyway, yeah. No, that, Tiger Woods, not to make this conversation now about him, but he had an accident, he had some troubles, in his life. But we rock with Tiger Woods.
For sure.
Forever. Okay. Speaking of games, we also have the Patriot Games. We remember this.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
The
Oh
Patriot
yes.
Games.
Yes. Where we?
The Hunger Games for kids.
Yes.
Listen, so that is supposed to be going down this year. It is for America's 250th anniversary. Last year when we were talking about it was for 2026, and it seems so far away. But this is the year you're going to start seeing all of these 250th anniversary events. So yes, the Trump administration is planning to match teen competitors with celebrity coaches for a televised athletic contest called the Patriot Games. And so I think that's interesting. I almost don't want to say why. Actually, I will say what I said the first time. Why do they have to be teens?
Mm.
And I wasn't even thinking about any old crazy reason at the time.
But now.
Now.
Now. Exactly.
But kind of in general, why do we have to watch teens from every state play? Like, why not take the best? Why not take the college athletes or like the people who just graduated college who are like the best at their craft, but maybe not going to the Olympics or, just somebody with some real time. Why do we have to watch teens play?
Right now. Well, okay. There's
Okay.
this is what I would say.
Okay.
Right now, high school basketball, football, soccer, all that high school sports in general is huge right now.
Okay.
You got OTE, you got a lot of things surrounded around high school sports. Like high school sports aren't like how they used to be anymore.
Okay.
To where it was like you don't really watch high school sports. High school sports really aren't televised like that. Nowadays, high school sports are way more watched. Some of these high school athletes are way more popular than, some of these college athletes and some of these.
Really?
1,000%.
I just have never seen, how when people get from high school and go to college, suddenly they're the low man on the totem pole and realize they suck compared to the college bigger, better guys, bigger, better girls. Why are we not watching the bigger, better girl from said sport play?
Well, I'll put it like this. Zion Williamson, this is just an example.
Okay.
Zion Williamson and Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg was played at Duke. Zion Williamson played at Duke. Both high school phenomenons. I mean, they were huge. You know what I mean? Like when they got to high school, doing crazy things. Now, Cooper Flagg's doing really good at Dallas. Zion Williamson, not so much in New Orleans. But I say that to say they were hype in high school and everybody was surrounded. Like everybody wanted to get around them. It was so much hype around those two kids to where it's like, we see where high school sports is going.
Yeah.
Some of these athletes in high school are ridiculously talented, bruh. Ridiculously talented.
I get that. I do get that, and I understand that. But I guess, is Zion Williamson better now than or when he got to college and he was in high school?
No.
He didn't improve at all.
No.
He didn't get, dang. So he won, no.
I'm not going to say he didn't improve, but
I guess
he is not what he was when he was in high school and college.
Oh, that's interesting. At the same time, if you were a really good volleyball player, you were playing against me in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who are you really playing against? At least by the time you get to college, you're in an element about, I'm with my peers now. I'm with people who do this. You were playing against me and I was pretty good. You were playing with people who just joined the team for fun in high school. So that's what I'm saying. What is your talent really being measured up against? So much so that we got to watch you as a country represent your state.
Well, you got to think of this, like the McDonald's games. When they do the McDonald's games for basketball and McDonald's in the high school national all-star game and all that, those are the elites of the elites playing each other when it comes to this high school stuff. Bro, if you actually sit down and watch the really good high school players play, you would be highly surprised how good these kids are, bro. It would look like you're watching a NBA or NFL or whatever, These kids are really good. They're not like how they used to be, bro. Not at all.
Not only that, but think about it, because when I'm in college, I'm prepping to go major league. I'm trying to go to the finals of everything. I want to either go to the Olympics, the NFL, the NBA, MLB. I want to go pro. I'm focused on that. I'm not worried about no Patriot Games. But if I'm in high school, just imagine what a high schooler could get from actually winning the Patriot Games.
Facts.
colleges looks from everybody if you win those games.
What if you got hurt and then just tanked your college career? Like, you still got stakes going from high school to college. That, or you might not risk it, in which case we still wouldn't be getting the best talent. Like, let's say I know I'm going from high school to an NIL deal in college. Am I going to risk that for the Patriot Games? Like, why would I put my body on the line for the Patriot Games when what am I winning from that other than glory? These applications are open to athletes age 14 to 17 and does not apply to anybody who turns 18 before December 31st. So, like, definitely nobody 18, just these, 14 to 17-year-olds. They're I mean, I get it.
I'll put it like this. We won't see the cream of the crop when it comes to the Patriots games, because a lot of those cream of the crops are, like you said, they ain't trying to get hurt before.
Why would you?
And they probably have NIL deals waiting for them at all these schools and stuff like that. We probably won't see those people, but we will see the ones right up under them for sure. The kids that need to get those looks. The kids that need to get those what?
But for what? Like, why would I need to get looks if I'm not even worried about college? I'm not even worried about like hurting myself from the deals. I'm that good that I'm going to a D1, D2, D3, whatever school. I know I'm going there. In which case, why wouldn't you take the athletes who are about to graduate college? Like, dang, I didn't go.
He said it. They trying to go. They trying to go to the league.
No. There's a point where they know I'm not going to the league. I haven't been drafted.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Like, the draft is over. I've got nothing to look forward to. I'm not going to the Olympics.
Well,
maybe I'm still training to try to go to the Olympics, but I've got nothing to literally do right now. Patriot Games.
This doesn't serve them. The Patriots game.
This would put them, but like, to your point, this would put them on the map to be like, dang, like, maybe I should put them on this professional team.
Exactly.
You just won the Patriot Games and you just got out of college. What you do after that?
The same thing they're doing anyway. Nothing.
Go put the fries in the bag.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
That's what they're doing anyway.
No, that's not. Because again, if you're a high schooler and you actually win, or even if you're in this circle, colleges, the whole country is looking at you. You're going to have somebody give you some looks.
That's what. But then if you were that
good,
but
the NFL isn't going to give you any looks just because you won the games.
How would then you couldn't go to the NFL?
No, that's not going to do nothing
after.
For you.
Like, but that's my whole point. Like, if you were not concerned about your chances of going to college and getting hurt for college, then if you're going to go graduate from college and you don't have any prospect of doing anything anyway, but reasonably you should be better than high school seniors, wouldn't that be a better level of athleticism than a high school senior? Because you're going out to graduate college to nothing anyway. So this is your last chance at glory in that sense. Like, you're going to go figure out the real world because you're not going to the NFL, you're not going to the NBA, you're not going anywhere. Why would you not want to be like, man, it's my last competition that really matters, versus either way, I'm going to college. Like, you got more to lose at the high school level than I got to go get a real job anyway.
But if I got to go get a real job anyway, why would I, as a viewer, want to watch you? If I know that you, at that point, I'm just seeing fry cooks play each other. I want to see people that's grinding.
True.
I want to go see people grinding. I want to see people that's actually selling.
Exactly.
Now I could watch them through their journey in college now, all eyes on them. I'm preparing my kids for the Patriot Games right now.
I respect that. I actually kind of respect that.
Well, there is also going to be a UFC fight on the White House lawn scheduled to take place on Trump's birthday.
Yeah, I think that's dumb.
You think it's dumb?
I think that's
interesting.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think that is interesting. Again, we saw that UFC fighters saying we're performing for the elites. So that's kind of scary in itself. You're just beating each other up for the elites because we're not going to get those tickets. We're not going to get those seats.
Yeah.
It's only the people that got the real bucks that get them anyway. So I don't know.
And don't let it be two black people fighting. Bro, it's cooked. Hey, bro, if it's two black people fighting at that thing, bro, it's cooked.
Oh my God.
Or if there's one black person and they lose and they get beat up by
dog, it's a wrap, bro.
It's gonna set the country back.
Set the country back so. Hey, all you black UFC fighters, y'all better not take no deal. Okay, how much money he throwing at y'all? Do not take the fight.
So as far as like the logistics and everything, I don't know who all is paying for these events. Technically, they've said that for the UFC, at the very least, the UFC is going to pay for like the majority of the bulk of it. But then there's some taxpayer dollars that are kind of coming into play when they think about security measures and just like the logistical things that involve security with the president and the people who are going to be there and all that kind of stuff. So there is some taxpayer dollars going into this scenario. We don't know, to your point, which you've pulled up some information for us on screen here, we don't know what all sports are going to be for the Patriot Games, like what all they are going to bring to the White House. But yes, the UFC says they're not seeking any taxpayer money, but there is really no way to not do this without some form of taxpayer dollars by default. Like they might not be seeking taxpayer money to pay for the event, because Dana White, this is amazing for Dana White, getting to do this on the White House lawn.
Huge.
You know how many eyes you have for this? That would be insane. But there's no way to do this security wise. Like unless Dana White's going to foot the bill for literally all of it, the Secret Service that they're going to have to put out there.
He got the money.
He got the money.
He got the money.
If you can do this 1,000% taxpayer free.
Yeah, he got the money. He don't even pay his UFC fighters like that. So he got the money for this.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we going from here? Oh, from one sport to another. We got the Super Bowl this weekend.
Yeah.
Get the Super Bowl this weekend. It's on Sunday. Are y'all doing anything?
I don't know. I might go to a little Super Bowl party.
Okay. He's saying that because he doesn't want to invite us. We didn't want to come anyway.
That's
all right.
Well, no, I'm playing.
But Bad Bunny is going to be the halftime performer.
Yeah, Bad Bunny.
He's talking. Yeah. He's gonna air it. But yeah, some people are excited. Some people are pissed. In fact, they have come up with a whole other show for people who do not want to watch Bad Bunny. Backstory on that: Bad Bunny is a Latino performer. He is Puerto Rican. He is saying that he's going to come and bring his culture. He's going to bring the vibes. He wants it to be about the people and the community, not just like personal achievement for him. Like this is personal on a cultural level. He has not really said much about what the performance is going to look like or if there's going to be any special guests, but just that people don't need to understand Spanish to be able to enjoy it. On the other hand, you got people who are saying, why somebody who primarily speaks Spanish and barely speaks English, so they say, doing the halftime performance? We would like to enjoy this upon ourselves. So they have what, Kid Rock?
Yes.
They got Kid Rock.
Kid Rock.
Kid Rock.
And you know what's crazy is Kid Rock just got found, one of his lyrics was had child stuff in it. Yeah. One of his lyrics. Yeah, one of his songs is. So now everybody was getting pushed back on that and this is what y'all got doing the Turning Point USA thing. It's like, oh man. But again, to my point, Nikki, why they ain't call you? I said this before, I'm gonna say it again. Nikki, you was so cool with Erica Kirk. Why they ain't call you? Because they don't rock with you like that. I told you. You're a pawn in their game. Okay.
That's a good point. So the whole lineup for the Kid Rock halftime performance is Kid Rock, who's headlining, of course, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Bryce, and Gabby Barrett. Yes. This is Turning Point USA's All-American halftime show. And that is, of course, Charlie Kirk's former TPUSA we're talking about before he passed. May he rest in peace. So that's that for them. And then for the actual Super Bowl pregame show, they're going to have Charlie Puth, Brandy Carlisle, and Coco Jones.
Bam. A mix of beautifulness. That's a good... you know what? I don't think I've never really understood any of Bad Bunny songs, but they all are really good. I mean, who cares what he really... my favorite song is the High on the Way Out of the Beast. It's not a Bad Bunny song, but we don't understand what the words are in that song. And
was that Lion King?
Lion King, one of the greatest songs ever.
All right.
The point I'm trying to make is you don't need to understand the words to like the music. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
That was the point I was trying to make.
Okay.
No, y'all don't understand the point?
I guess.
I get it.
You didn't get the point.
I get it because it's the beat. It's the groove. I got stuck at it.
We don't know the words.
No, you did. Where did you pull that from? You do not listen to that song on a daily basis.
I didn't say I listen to it on a daily basis, but it is a classic. You know what I mean? It's a good song. We don't know the words to it.
So I heard he was going to be wearing a dress at the Super Bowl.
Let him wear a dress.
Oh, that's got... I can see why that's got some of the people going. That's
Come
funny.
On now,
Let him wear a dress.
Imagine being like a conservative, and having children. You just don't want your children to see certain things. You're trying to raise your kids in a certain way, and then you see him on live television.
Okay.
When y'all are playing, when y'all are supposed to be watching a game that isn't involving politics,
Gotcha.
that doesn't involve all these different norms of society and things like that. I just want to watch the game. I don't need to see all that other stuff.
Got you. So you ain't got no control of your kids, is what all I hear.
So that's why I'm just saying,
man, my kid can't watch them on TV because he got a dress on. I don't want him to look at this, bruh. What? Then don't. Teach your kids not to wear a dress. This is perfectly like what? What is him watching? Him wearing a dress and your kid looking at him wearing a dress? What does that say? Nothing. Because as soon as you turn the TV off, you sit your kid down and go, "Hey, that was a good show." But in our house, we don't wear a dress, right? Because we're boys, right? We're boys. We don't wear dresses. But that was good, right? Good performance, but we don't wear dresses. That lets me know you have no control over your house, sir.
I have to give pushback to that because we talk about
not
how
you, Million, but you know,
he doesn't have kids.
He don't have kids.
I don't have kids at all. But we talk about how hip hop influences our culture on a constant, and how we hear NBA YoungBoy on a day-to-day. Things that your children consume
100%.
does influence them.
100%.
So that's why this is an issue. It's like, I don't need my children to see that right now.
But to my point still, regardless of what you're consuming, you have that ability to sit your child down and talk to them. You can't argue with me and tell me you don't have the ability to sit your child down.
I don't want to hear it because I'm telling you, you've made this point before. Talking about hip hop and the music we listen to, 100%, how it affects us.
100%. I know it affects
you can't use it at this point. Just turn off the music. Tell them to turn off the music.
No, I want my kid to listen to music, but I also am not going to be like, oh man, I'm going to teach my kid to listen, man. This is just music. Don't let nothing they saying in this thing, in this rap. Don't let it. This ain't nothing real. And I'm going to show my kids the real. Like, bro, he really not living like this. This is what he really does in his everyday life. I'm going to teach my kids the realness of the world. I'm not going to hide my... Man, dudes wear dresses. It's all good. Whatever. You ain't got to wear no dress. That's how I feel.
Well, we have eaten up so much time. We got two more stories. No. Because now y'all got to pick. We either talk about the elephant or the...
the elephant.
Okay. So we have to leave you in suspense of what the other story was. So, and I don't know why they sound so happy because this was really a tragic story. There was a tourist who was trampled to death by an elephant at a national park in Thailand.
Oh, you want to?
So what y'all want to say? Oh, okay, I'll tell you the details.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, there was a wild bull elephant that killed that tourist, and this is actually the third human that this same elephant has killed. All right. This was a 65-year-old tourist. He was just trying to do some walking around the campsite he was in. And I guess the elephant is in the season of which they are a bit more aggressive because they're trying to get to the women, the female elephants. And so, yeah, he might have been a bit more aggressive, and he trampled that man. His name is Oyewan. And he charged at the man, slammed him into the ground with its trunk before stomping on him.
God.
Yes. So his wife was nearby when it happened. The park rangers frightened the animal off, and then, got the wife to safety. Everybody else was just, kind of shocked and whatnot. But yeah, man, it's crazy because it's the third time he's done this.
So is it safe to say that this elephant is a serial killer? Is it safe to say that the elephant is a serial killer?
I mean, technically,
low key, he is a serial killer, bruh. Like, that is why. Well, and also, when they in heat, man, you got to get up out their way, man. They trying to get their rock. They trying to get their rocks off, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out, move, get out the way. You ain't even supposed to be. Well, I don't know why y'all still want to be in these animals' area. Y'all not supposed. That is their house. Y'all be in their house for no reason. Go on now.
My thing is, it says park authorities are going to meet to talk about what to do about the elephant. We're either going to decide to relocate him or change his behavior. Y'all should have been decided to change his behavior. Is that an option? That should have been option A. Kill number one.
Yeah, where y'all gonna relocate him to? Somewhere else to kill somebody else?
These elephants want blood.
Like, yo,
boy,
there's only one option. Find him a girl. That's the only option. Go find him some elephant girl.
Lock him up. Man, we gotta go. We got more Atlanta stories coming at you after this.